Let's retrace the main events in the audio frequency circuits. The microphone brings about a pulsating direct current. The transformer changes this to an alternating current. Vacuum tubes amplify this alternating current, which then goes to the modulator.
Molecules containing more than one atom can rotate and vibrate. Sometimes vibration is simple in form. We can see that each vibrational mode has a different frequency, and all of the patterns of vibration may be different. Each of the vibrations is a simple harmonic motion.
The same peaked wave triggers a pulse-forming circuit, which creates a new waveform, pulses with flat tops. Notice that throughout these changes, the exact subdivisions of our second in time have not been lost. We still have precisely the same number of positive peaks per second.
Pulsating direct current. Pulsating direct current.
If the sine wave's frequency is 1,000 cycles a second, we have actually divided 1 second into 1,000 equal parts. But in this sine wave, it's impossible to tell where each thousandth of a second begins and ends. That's why it's changed into this, a peaked wave, which can be measured from positive peak to positive peak.
Introducing the Dumble whose door is always open. Gandalf without the gray or the white because he's all black. Geordie LaForge captaining this enterprise. The Swag King with the crown, shout out to Sunday Swagger. The long-lost homie of Zach Morris and AC Slater, since y'all got jokes. Sweet Chocolate Jesus, as proclaimed by Roman of the Empire himself, and the man running up the chimney because he wants all the smoke. Let's talk about it. And here's your host, Left Eye E.G.O.
Guys, we are back for the first time in a while. I apologize, between wife pregnancies and work taking me all over the place. It's been quite a journey for me. But I'm glad you guys are here with me tonight for another episode of Left Eye at Night. I'm going to be introducing our guest this evening. I'm going to bring her up here as well while I do this, so she needs to hear this complete introduction. All right. I'm introducing. We're going to go back to what you said the first time that we ever met on our show. The Contessa of Contour, all right? The heroine of highlights, not low lights that you add to them because that makes them highlights, as so I've been told. She is the entertainer with eyeliner. Ladies and gentlemen, she has amassed over 19,252 followers across all forms of social media. She has interviewed the likes of Bo DeMaio, creator of X-Men 97. Athena Finger, Batman historian and granddaughter to the creator of Batman, Bill Finger. Neville Page, the concept designer behind Watchmen, and Maria Sandoval, the lead hair designer for The Mandalorian. She's an accomplished salon proprietor, makeup artist, fictional DC salon owner of Cuts for Capes, that was a previous stream, and the creator of her latest comic, Veiled Legacy. Everyone, welcome to the channel, Comic Sand. How are you doing this evening?
Well, I'm doing like 1,000% better now. That was even better than the last time. That was amazing. I completely forgot about that. That was incredible. Thank you. You make me sound
Oh,
like the coolest person alive. Like I want to be friends with me now.
no problems. Remembering the last year, I was like, wow, we did cover quite a bit. I was like, I wanted to go back to the cuts for capes at some point, and we're definitely doing that. Gonna be doing that this evening as well.
The
But
Contessa of Contour. My gosh, that's been a it's I was thinking about that like when you reminded me how long ago how long it's been since I've been on your channel like why has it been this long first of all? It's been years. And
yeah,
secondly, my absolute heartfelt congratulations to you and Shiro. That is just the what a blessing. Two of the most genuine, beautiful people I have ever met on the internet. Just amazing news. And every time I come across it on social media, I just get the most warm, fuzzy feeling. So, congratulations to both of you. And I absolutely expect baby pictures in my DMs.
that is fair. You guys will get
And
them. There are gonna be so
and
many.
and I would like your address so that I can send a baby gift,
Oh,
please and thank you.
definitely.
So,
I will definitely do that. Thank you. Thank you. I'm just she's a go person. I had to
yes.
show her. We had to watch what to expect when you're expecting because she was the character that's like, I'm gonna do this natural. I don't want an epidural. I'll be fine. I'm like, honey, no. I mean, she told me the story. I mean to get us off track, but she told me the story about one of her friends from work who was like working a late night shift years ago, and he's telling his wife is like calling him on the way home from work because it's like 3 a.m. because he had to work like a special event. And she's like, okay, are you home yet? He's like, no, I'm on the way home. So she says, I need you to go and get me some Taco Bell. I need it now. So he's like, all right, whatever. So he gets Taco Bell. And before he can close the door, she floods open the light. She's like, okay, give me the Taco Bell. So he gives her Taco Bell and she's eating. She says, okay, don't freak out. My water broke 3 hours ago. But they said that if I go to the hospital now, I can't eat Taco Bell. So I need to have it. And now we can go to
That's
the
fair.
hospital.
That's
And I
fair.
said, honey, I said, don't. I said, I'm gonna have to watch you because I know you'll do this. I absolutely know this will happen, and it's gonna be something for like pickles and sausage, and I'm gonna lose it at that point. But
Listen,
I'm
let me
trying
tell you
to.
something. I have had 4 children, and I'm telling you, when you are in absolute active labor, your digestive system shuts down. You don't wanna eat because
Really? Okay.
it doesn't work. Like, the whole system's like, "Nope,
Oh,
nothing coming in, nothing going out anywhere." Like, the whole thing shuts down. So, if she's hungry, it's fine. Give her the food. She's gonna need the energy anyway. Her body really needs that fuel. So give mama the food. Give her the food.
fine. Okay, I will have to give her the food then. Fine.
Now, if she yaks, if she immediately yaks it up, then get her
Okay.
to the hospital. It's time.
Okay. I'm gonna have to let her
Shut
know that
down.
this has been discussed ahead of time
Okay.
on her behalf. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But yeah, so I mean, just catching up from I guess the last time. It's been about 3 years at this point with the last time I checked, and I remember you were still doing great even then at 500
Oh,
subscribers,
thank you.
and I'd actually I'd just purchased a book at some point
Oh
like that.
gosh.
I told you I got it. I did write a review as well. This
Did
is
you
awesome stuff.
really?
I did, yeah, yeah. You'll see. It's the latest one that's on there, but it's there. Yeah. Guys, I meant what I said. Also, I bought the last one. It's not even in print or circulation at Amazon,
Oh my
so I got the last one.
goodness.
But this is
I
awesome.
have one right here.
Oh, you got another one? Yeah.
Well, I have
Last.
to have this one. That's so
But
funny. So I have
good.
to ask, did you
Yes,
like it?
I do. And that's why, and I guess that's what's going to bleed into the conversation about Veiled Legacy. Is
Mhm.
number one, I didn't know it was going to be that graphic. I did not. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting, oh my goodness, just he lightly bites into the flesh. Like, no, it was pretty graphic. The scene in the house, I had to like, I had to put the book down for a second to digest the whole scene of that. But I did like that everyone has parts and that there is a mythology behind it. And I am a fan of gods and monsters in general when you can put them together and it makes sense and be cohesive. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it. And now I'm glad that I have there's gonna be a visual component to go with it.
Well, I
You know,
don't want to hijack your stream and
yeah,
the setup that you have. So
it's fun.
we
Yeah,
can totally put a pin in that conversation and
or
revisit it later because
yeah.
I'm just like biting my tongue in half.
No, you know what? I can actually do that with you now. Hold on one second.
Okay.
And I have it on here. So I know that let's go ahead and bring up the let's go ahead and bring it up for it here as well for Veiled Legacy. And first of all, I'm going to actually wind up playing the intro for Veiled Legacy here so everyone kind of gets a
My
teaser for
babies.
what they'll be getting. All right, so guys, here is the teaser trailer for Veiled Legacy. Check it out. All right, guys, I am thoroughly excited for this. And the actual, this is the fund of my comic for it is live now.
Yes.
And it's got about 4 till August 11th. So it's about 5 months for funding on there. I'm going to be personally contributing to this before the stream is over. I'm just letting you know so I
Thank
can add
you
to
so
it.
much.
No problem. But guys, this is a fantastic book on here that we've got that's going to be coming out. First of all, now that you are making a comic, I want to say thank you because I don't know if you've ever heard of the Gaston Literary Academy.
No.
Okay, I'm going to tell I've told this to authors that I'm a proud graduate of the Gaston Literary Academy. If you don't know, I'm going to play you our motto.
How can you read this? There's no pictures.
You got me.
So I appreciate coming up with pictures that go with the words. But in terms of Veiled Legacy, can you walk us through your process for writing a comic? I guess from concept to the more so finished product. I know that we've got, Vampire Slayer that might serve as a template of sorts.
Mhm.
But what's your process been like for this particular comic?
Well, one thing I call this 1 Foot in Darkness. I had a horror because the full title is like Vampire Slayer 1 Foot in Darkness. And I joke around, but I'm like kind of serious. I'm pretty sure that this publisher was a front for money laundering because I did not have an editor. I did not have an editor. And when I said I wanted to call it 1 Foot in Darkness, they wouldn't let me. They said they had another title that was too similar. So they wanted to put Vampire Slayer in front of it. I thought it sounded too corny.
Oh, okay.
But they did anyway. So I was like, okay. So the quote unquote editor had it for about 9 months and then sent it back with basically just spell check. And I was like, you didn't even do appropriate spell check. There were no action, nothing else. So I had like a really, really bad experience, a horrible experience with editors. So we've been lovingly referring to this version as first draft ever since. And I don't know if you could tell. I don't know if you could tell when you read it, but this was always intended to be a comic book. It was always seen as a comic book. But when I wrote this book, I had just had my third child, my first daughter, Emma. I was a stay-at-home mom, and I had just had this idea that felt like it was scratching at the back of my skull. And I just sat down and it all kind of fell out of my fingertips. And then I became a single mom, and a single mom with 4 kids, and had to put myself through cosmetology school and raise a bunch of kids. And that doesn't exactly translate into a good amount of time to sit and write books. So for 22 years, this world got put on the back burner. And
Okay.
then a couple years ago, I ran into this guy online because of I'm doing YouTube now.
Yeah.
And he was an artist. And I had 2 copies of the book. I sent him one of my only copies of the book. And he was like, yeah, let's make this. And so I sent him some character descriptions. And he's like, yeah, I love it. I'll get back to you. And then every week I would send him an email like, hey, what's going on? He's like, I got some sketches. I'm going to send them to you. And then eventually I didn't hear anything back from the guy. Like, I wrote a whole script, sent it to him, never heard anything back from this guy. And I'd never written a comic book script before. I was just kind of
Oh, okay.
guessing, to be perfectly honest with you. I just kind of guessed based on screenwriting. I took screenwriting and translated it into panels.
Okay.
So this guy ghosted me, and a year goes by, and I was just like, you know what, maybe this is just God's plan. You know what, it's fine, I'll just keep with YouTube. So then I did Dreaming Tabitha's stream. And by
Okay.
the way, I used Celtics. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of Celtics. It's a screenwriting program. You can use a free version. It has
Okay.
paid tiers and stuff, but it's very helpful for, I would say, more so for screenwriting. It doesn't really have an option for comic book writing, but you can
Okay.
change things here and there. It's very, very handy, especially if you have no idea what you're doing like I did. So I did Art Party with Dreaming Tabitha, and wouldn't you know, she puts me on this stream with Ripaverse people. And there
Oh,
was
okay. Yeah.
Caro Brown, E.G.O, and Dreaded Dinosaur. And I was like, wow, these are all comic book people. Ooh. And so, of course, I, being my autistic self, was like, I wrote a comic book script, and I had an artist, and he ghosted me for like a year. Like, oh God, I hate it when that happens. That's so awful. And like, that's a bummer. So the next day, Caro reached out and she said, hey man, thanks for being so nice. And I was like, well, I mean, because we had hit it off like immediately, like eerily well. And like pretty sure we're the same person. We don't know how that's happened, but what's science? So
Okay.
we just got to talking, and she said, send me your script. For reals? And she's like,
Oh.
yeah, send me your script. So I sent it to her. We met, and she said, first of all, I have to say, for someone who claims to have absolutely no idea what they're doing, you are off to a hell of a good start. And
Nice.
I wrote it down, circled it, underlined it, put a bunch of little exclamation points by it. I was like, and she gave me some amazing suggestions.
Okay.
She taught me how to format it properly. I mean, it took like 1 hour long meeting, and the next week or so I did rewrites, changed some things around, sent it back to her, and she was like, Caro's amazing. Caro is one bad hombre. Let me tell you something. She is one of the best people on planet Earth. So I highly recommend, because I'm telling you, like I said, up until I met Caro, I thought editor was like the scariest thing ever. I thought editor was like someone who did not care about you or your vision, that they would just erase things, that I saw them more of like a studio executive who did spell check. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, that makes more sense.
Right. So, but with Caro, a good editor, what I learned is that you need a good editor. You need someone who understands how your creative brain works, so
Right.
that they not only can kind of direct you, because let me tell you, you've known me for 3 or 4 years now, okay?
Right.
You are well aware I am a squirrel. I am all over the place.
Just a little bit.
A little bit. And my show is no different, and my creative process is no different either. I have dry erase boards everywhere. I have multiple notebooks. Like, this is just sitting right here. I have notebooks.
Oh, I
and
live that
there's
life too. That's
There's 2 more right here. This
Yeah.
is just right here. I have notebooks all over the place. And a good editor will not only kind of help you direct that energy,
Mhm.
but also once they understand how the machine of your creative brain works,
Right.
they're going to be able to help it run more efficiently and
Right.
get the best out of it. And that's what E.G.O has done. You think this is good? Bro,
Right.
that's nothing. That is nothing compared to Veld Legacy Book 1 Midwest Gothic. It's absolutely nothing.
Okay.
She took a 5
Okay.
and just kind of like pressed the right buttons in my brain. All she did was ask me questions. Really, except for
Oh.
one thing. Except for
Okay.
one thing. Because this was written in 2004. So
Correct.
the guys that show up at the door in this book are just a couple of douches in polo shirts.
And that
Of
was
course,
yeah.
right. So it wouldn't be that far fetched to think that these guys didn't have cell phones on them
Correct.
in 2004. But these days, why don't they have a phone? Why do they need to use the phone? Why are they there? So E.G.O said, maybe they're Amish. And I was like,
That
hold
makes
on.
sense. Okay.
That's fantastic. And have you ever heard of an Amish vampire before? No, you have not. So
Not
other than that,
that's the concept. Okay.
she'd ask me questions, and she would challenge me to push my creative envelope even farther, like push
Okay.
it even more. And that was the most amazing experience for me so far throughout creating this. What we've done is taken that one spot, the one part of the book you read where you're like, I got to put this down for a minute.
Yes.
This girly girl who does makeup on YouTube just really grossed me out, and I didn't see that coming.
Yes.
We took that couple of pages and turned it into a 42-page comic book.
Oh wow. Oh
That's
wow.
just book 1.
Wow. So book 1's that entire exchange.
That entire
Oh,
exchange.
wow.
There's a lot more going on. It goes so much deeper. And so the first step was getting the script just right, and not just, getting it just right, but maintaining my voice,
Okay.
bringing myself out of myself, and being confident with it.
Yeah.
I had been told for so long that, you're all right, it kind of kick dog kind of syndrome, and
Right.
really believed that, well, if it's not happening, then this is probably just God's will, and that's, if that's his will, that's fine. And E.G.O was like, no, I'm not having it. You are good at this, and I'm just gonna keep kicking your ass until you listen to me. So that was that first step, was really, really discovering how to just let it out and
Right.
be okay with that, and get it to that point to where I felt not just comfortable with it, but like, I don't give a shit what anybody says. Like, I love this. And I think that was the most important part, that you got to write it to where, because that was something she would ask a lot. Like, if you saw this, if you read this, would you buy it? Would you like it? And I was like, hell yeah. Now we're at the point where I am. Oh God, I love you, Cosmortal Comics. What's up, buddy? Um, now we're at the point where I'm collaborating with the artist Evan Scale. He was the artist on Caro's latest comic, Dirty Deeds, over at Rippaverse.
Oh, no. Oh, Dirty Deeds. Yeah, I heard about that one.
Hey, Rippa! And he's really good, really good, and it's so awesome that the artist for my Greek mythological vampires happens to be Greek. So I was like, shut your face. This is perfect. So getting to talk and meet with my artist, and that's been kind of an eye-opener tour too. You know, really, it's kind of like that conversation with your editor. You really have to get to know this person. They really have to know what you're feeling and thinking when you've written this panel here. Like, they want to know more than just what you've written in this panel. They want to know this character's motivation. You need to think of it more as, you're not just the writer of this, you're the director too. And you need to think of your artist as, hey, Roman, oh my God, I haven't seen him in so long. Pardon me. You have to think of your artist as kind of the actor. They are creating your actors. So they really need to know, like, I need to know everything about this character. So when you send them the character descriptions, everything has to be there. Did I answer everything that you wanted?
Yeah. I mean, actually, that gets us to the interesting part about all this, which is the protagonist, Emma Hogan. I know that everyone's heard of a vampire slayer. They've seen a vampire slayer. So, what makes Emma different from other vampire slayers we've seen in like comics or past movies?
Well, I think the most obvious, glaring thing is her weaponized prosthetic leg. She's not just an amputee. She has a weaponized prosthetic leg that James Bond would probably sell his fleet of Aston Martins for. This thing is so tricked out. It has a stake launcher in the outer calf of the leg. Like, when she stomps down, the hatch opens and a stake flies up and she can catch it and go attack. There's also iron spikes that come out of the front. There's a knife that comes out of the toe of it, like she twists the ball.
Right here,
yeah. Yeah. And then later on, see, her brother's an engineer, and he's the one who does. He's like the Q to her Bond. So much later on, it gets better. It gets even better. So that would be the first difference.
Are these like the ones that are flesh on? Is it like a skin sleeve, or just that's the way they made? That's awesome.
This is showing you like the internal mechanisms as well as like what it actually looks like.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna just take a look at the vampire that they've drawn here. Now, an homage vampire is terrifying.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's freaking terrifying. I had not considered that at all.
And this I went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth on, because first of all, I hate Twilight. I hate that we have girlified, weenified vampires so much. I do like a bit of that romantic notion of vampires. I'm a huge Anne Rice fan. Don't get me wrong, but they are snarling beasts who feed on human flesh. They're not pretty. Okay, it's not dreamy and no, they should look monstrous They should look monstrous. It's a metaphor for how evil they are on the inside. And so he knows the part of the description I gave Evan was that, give me like a cross between Sloth from the Goonies and vampires from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I wanted them like twisted and gnarled and just disgusting. I want them to smell bad. I want their eyes to be yellow with red in the center and long claws and just vile.
He did a really good job transforming that. And I like the fact that it's not like he's ripping up his transforming rips up his clothes. It's like, no, they fit.
Mhm.
It's just it's in a different form. It's like
Yeah.
I do like that. I like the way that it's like it's not just torn out clothes, like you can go back and forth if you need to, but it takes the space of the clothes that they're wearing.
And that was Evan's idea. This has been an absolute collaborative relationship with Evan entirely. And Ro, I have had a crush on Layla since I created her. It's warranted. I promise you. Just wait till book 2, The Gospel of Layla Fellows. Everyone's going to fall in love with this woman.
Yes.
The coolest. See?
Yeah,
E.G.O knows.
I too would have a crush for reasons. Yes.
She's
Great
awesome.
Job. Evan Evans, the one that's the artist, right?
Yes, Evan Scale.
Go easy on our eyes, sir. Okay. I read the description in the book. I just need to just tone it down for me just a little bit. Okay. But anyway,
there's a picture. There's a picture of her as well. We have concept. I went ahead, even though she's not in the first book.
right.
My Patreon. And you're on my Patreon, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So members of my Patreon get to kind of vote on things. Like when I go to collaborate with Evan on things or name things, I put polls up, and I asked Patreon, like, what concept art do you want to see? What should we start with? And people wanted Layla in there. They wanted Emma, Jimmy, Layla, and a vampire. So that's what we went with. I don't blame them. She's hot.
In that order, it'd be the same for me too. For that order for me too. One thing that I was knowing, I mean, we talked about your surgeries you've had, which from the knee down that you've had, but I mean, were there any strange or funny real life moments that ended up being either in Vampire Slayer or Veiled Legacy?
Oh, so many.
Oh, really? Okay. I thought maybe I had to go. Okay, go ahead.
So many. So, the Phantom Pains. There is the artwork you see of Emma, the concept art. You see like yellow lightning kind of wrapping around her leg.
I was going to ask what that was. Yes.
Yes, it says Phantom Pains above it, but we're actually going to articulate that. We're going to show that. I have severe, sometimes debilitating phantom pains. And there are so many different types. Oh, God, thank you, guys, Mortal. I have so many different types, and I genuinely thought that they were completely unique to me because honestly, I don't talk to any other amputees on a regular basis.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like the only one in the town I live in. First of all,
okay. Gotcha.
Technically, my brother is an amputee, but he was born missing his left hand, so he doesn't have any
none of that. Okay.
Yeah, but I never really talk. I have talked to other amputees, but never very deep. But I came across this amputee group on accident because someone had asked, "Hey, are there any amputee superheroes?" And I was like, "Well, as a matter of fact." And so I joined just so I could hawk my comic. And someone posted this picture, this graphic, and showed their phantom pains. And I kid you not, I about fell out of my chair. I was like, oh my God, I'm not alone. They feel this too. One of the phantom pains is if, say, someone put a nail on top of your toenail and then just hammered it to the ground. And then another one is electrical shocks. Another one is like hot pokers, your leg being cut off again. It's like they come out of nowhere. They're extremely sudden.
Oh wow.
And it's like a seizure. You can't help but react to it. And then they go away just as suddenly as they have appeared. I have fallen. It's
Like sort of hit you when you're walking. It'll just, oh wow.
I was at work once, twice, and I fell. Like, because it just comes out of her. I'm like, like fall over. So I had this idea and I talked about it with Caro, and she was like, yes, because Emma and Jimmy are twins and they do share an empathetic and somewhat psychic bond. So we decided to utilize the Phantom Pain stuff, not only so that way we can actually, articulate, we can do artist renderings of what I am actually feeling, what other amputees are actually feeling, and it'll make for good story content. But also, E.G.O, how much do you actually know about amputees? Like nothing.
Not a lot.
Nothing. And there's a lot of misinformation that floats around out there. And I'm not trying to go on some political message ideology crap. I'm really not. I just want to write a good story. But I think it would be kind of neat to slip a little education in there with a really amazing story at the same time. Yeah. So we're going to put in some of my Phantom Pain stuff, and it's going to be, it is important to the story. It's very important to the story. And also some of like in One Foot in Darkness, like 2, right? Come on. Hey, we're kind of a very isolated breed. Like seriously, I know Steel Leg of history, and we've talked like maybe once. I bought a purse from him that was his sister's. Like, we don't ever talk. It's so funny. But yes, exactly, Cosmortal, like Daredevil, and I don't even think about that stuff, So, anywho. There was that, and some of the name calling and stuff that happens in One Foot in Darkness. That is the small town kind of life. Stuff people don't understand. And yes, basically that whole book is me. That entire book is me. I was told to write that book by my therapist at the time because I was in an unhealthy situation, and she was trying to find healthy outlets for me to deal with it. And so that was my outlet to write One Foot in Darkness. So the whole book is me dealing with me. So basically everything in it that's amputee stuff or disability related, discrimination related has happened to me.
I think I was I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
Thing about in Vampire Slayers that she had like it wasn't necessarily flesh color, it was yellow. And so like it really stood out when she tried to go put a boot on. It's like, oh, I forgot this isn't the heel foot, this is the flat foot, and now I put on the wrong one. Like that's a frustrating thing. I remember when I got my first hearing aid, it was just huge, ugly, big brown thing that had to sit behind my ear, and it was just the ugliest thing. And it's a lot's happened in 20 years for prosthetics, hearing aids, and the like. But I mean, it just doesn't change that first experience. That hey, I'm having a hard enough time with this as it is. As uncomfortable it looks for you to look at it, it looks uncomfortable for me to have to put this thing on.
Yes.
And you're going through that whole thing of how am I comfortable with something that I'm uncomfortable with, and how do I respond when people ask obvious questions about it too.
I have tried, I tried launching that project 3 years ago, the Belgian project, me and special effects artist Brian Sipe. And I wasn't sexy enough, I guess. We couldn't get funny. We got just enough funding to pay for the materials for him to cast and mold my residual limb and existing leg. We wanted to prove that we could do that and mirror my left leg to make a fully silicone prosthesis that matched my body exactly, and it wouldn't cost $30,000 because this stuff costs $30,000. I mean, when I get a leg, I have to use my special effects skills to zhuzh it up and make it actually look like skin, but the foot looks nothing like me. You know, it looks like it come from the haunted doll store. And if I didn't have the silicone skin covering on it, the foot would be yellow.
Yeah.
It does yellow over time. So, I mean, honestly, that is a benefit that the African American prostheses has over the white folk, because our rubber yellows. And it doesn't make sense to me. Like, how are we not figuring this shit out? Like, Hollywood special effects has figured this out for movies.
Yes.
Why are we not utilizing that? What's the deal here? We know exactly what the deal is. Yeah. It's not cost effective. We don't want it to be cost effective. Right. Prosthetics are considered by insurance as a luxury.
Yeah, luxury, yeah.
It's a luxury item.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
I get what you mean on that. And that's the thing with 3D printing. It's like, well, I mean, people can 3D build a house. Why can't you 3D build my prosthetic? You know, I can give you the exact dimensions, and
they have started doing that. But the issue is exactly, which is why Emma has those things. It's not just that. It's, first of all, women have a more complex and intricate relationship with their physical appearance. We have a higher self-delete rate than male amputees do. We report higher pain rates because prosthetics are based off of male physiography. That means it's based off of your muscle mass, your bone density. We have softer bones and softer muscle mass. That doesn't make sense. So it's harder for us to use them. Plus, men are totally cool with a Terminator looking leg. They think that shit makes them look dope.
That's very true. Very true.
Exactly. We want to look pretty. We want to fit in. And sometimes we want the cool Terminator stuff. That's fine. But sometimes we just want to look pretty, and we want to be stared at for the right reasons, not because we don't look entirely human, and that makes us feel inhuman. And so women amputees are 70% more likely to die alone, single, and
that's like across amputated limbs. Like, doesn't matter which one.
No, doesn't matter which one.
Wow.
So I started that Belgian project, and it got zero attention. It was very upsetting. And, you know, not just with the women, I kind of went off on myself, but think about it with little kids. They've been 3D printing the stuff for the little kids and stuff, and they make it with cartoon characters and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's cute and everything, but do you have any idea how mean kids are? And it's not entirely the kids' fault. You know, one, not every kid has great parents, and two, they don't have filters yet. They don't have emotional control yet. So they pick on other kids who don't look like everyone else. So can we start off with maybe giving them a leg that looks like them so they can fit in first, or maybe give them a leg that looks fun and one that looks like themselves? Hey, Shiro. Why aren't we thinking about the psychological ramifications of these things? True. They don't, and they don't care, because it doesn't make them the money in the long run. So a lot of this stuff is getting used. It's one of the reasons why Jimmy is her prosthetist. He's an engineer, and he watches some YouTube videos and some special effects videos. He has a 3D printer. He's got all this other stuff, and he makes her legs.
Great. Okay. because I remember that he would do like a lot of the welding and the putting things together in the book, but I didn't know if you'd made changes to how he does things in Veiled Legacy. That's good. I like that update to things. That's awesome. I really like that. Let me see what else I had on here. And what is another best way to help you promote Veiled Legacy? I know that you've got the Patreon, you've got the Veiled Legacy
Those
web
are the
page.
two best ways.
Okay.
Those are the two best ways. I mean, you can go to my website. I've been really busy. I'm always really busy. So updating my website has been like the bottom of my list. I mean, there are some updates there. But everything about the comic book is on the Fund My Comic and on the Patreon. The best way to support it and help get it published is the Fund My Comic.
Okay.
Absolutely. And what you were saying about Jimmy being updated and for the leg and stuff, there
Yeah.
are a lot of updates. There are a
Great.
lot of updates, and I have fleshed it out so
Good.
much more. I've made the story so much deeper. And you know how that one section said 2 years ago, and then that was it, and then it just jumps back. We're staying there.
Good.
We're
Okay.
staying there. We're learning things. And now we're discovering where vampires have come from, where the vampire hunters have come from, where the Brotherhood has come from. I've changed the name of the Brotherhood.
Okay. Okay.
It's not Brotherhood of Abgel-Da was something I just made up. So
you had me looking for 30 minutes trying to find that out. I was so upset. I was getting like cream cheese and recipes. It's not a food. I know it's not a food. I had to spell check it 3 or 4 times. I was like, if she made it up, that was really good because I was looking on Google, DuckDuckGo. I thought I was getting some, so they were blocking information from me. I was seriously trying to figure out who Abdgal was. Fantastic way to go on that one.
Thank you. It was a mixture of ancient Sumerian, and it basically meant warrior priest. So some mixing around of ancient Sumerian words. I was really into ancient Sumerian stuff when I wrote it, but I started researching a lot, and I love Greek mythology, always have since I was like 7 years old. And I just started thinking like, well, why am I not diving in more into that passion that I'm already knowledgeable about instead of this one? Like, that doesn't make sense. So they're now the Brotherhood of Abraxas, but they don't really use the word. They don't say the word Abraxas out loud because the word itself has power. So, and there's reasons for that, and that all gets revealed. But I'm really, really diving into the history of the Brotherhood, the history of the vampires, the whole history of the hunters. Like, I've got the whole iceberg is already worked out. Like, the whole thing is worked out. This first series is going to be 10 books long. And then I have at least 2 more series worked out. I've got a prequel novel worked out that I need to get started on. But everything happened, everything got started, everything kicked off in 450 BCE Piraeus, Greece, when a young man named Melis had a run-in with the monster Impusa, who happens to be the daughter of the goddess Hecate, the Greek goddess of magic, the crossroads, and thresholds. And Impusa is actually her daughter, and she has 1 bronze leg, and she drinks blood.
Just gonna you guys give me 1 second here while I just go ahead and do this. That's That's
So that the Impusa,
mhm.
now the original name of what becomes the Inanna.
Mhm.
So she becomes the blood goddess. So it all happened that night. So the hunters, the vampires, and the Brotherhood of Abraxas all starts that same night in 450 BCE, Piraeus, Greece. And I mean, when I had my second or third, I don't know, one of the knee surgeries last year,
Mhm. Okay.
I sat in bed with a pen and paper and just like
Run it all out.
furiously writing. I was
Yeah.
like, I am freaking on to something. And I'm just I'm so in love with it. And I cannot wait to share it with people.
Well, I mean, that's the one thing that brings up for me that I want to ask you is why do you think that everyone loves telling the vampire story, but they always go back to maybe 12th or 11th century? Like they don't go further
Mhm.
back than that. I mean, I know it seems sexy and stylized to make it gothic for the actual time period, but why do you think that there are very few people, if any, that go back further than that to the time that you're talking about? Why do you think that that is?
Lack of confidence, lack of ability to research, or they just don't want to. They're just not fans of the era. I think people are just maybe, and I'm just guessing. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know enough people, I guess, to make this kind of assumption. And you know what
Mhm.
happens when you assume things. But
I do. I do.
I, I'm just guessing. Like maybe they're just afraid of the amount of work it takes to do that kind of research, because
Okay.
when I did start putting the pieces to that together, that was a research rabbit hole that
Yeah. Yeah.
I fell into for about 3 or 4 months. I just
Oh,
kind of lived in Piraeus, Greece. And I see a therapist over Zoom for pain management,
okay.
and she would have her instead of me just showing up for my appointment, she would have her receptionist call me and tell me it's time for your appointment. And she said she would tell her that you're going to have to get Danny because she's probably still in ancient Greece. So
That
you're going to
is
have to go get her.
that's true. I no, I understand. That's one thing that I was wondering because I don't know if you've ever heard of a book called Redneck. It's about like vampires in Texas, but
Oh,
yeah, I cannot for the life of me find the very last book. I either got canceled or didn't get funding, but it's basically about vampires in Texas, and it goes back to you find out about the very first vampire, and it has to do with Jesus and kind of a curse that Jesus
and
placed on this person, and that's the very first vampire. But I've never seen a story go back that far, and you don't realize they don't tell you this until like the till book 4. So I'm not really trying to spoil
oh,
anyone, but I'd never seen anyone go back that far with the concept of vampires. Everyone tries to go to like, maybe I'll do Vlad the Impaler, like Dracula Untold, or I'll do a Stott for Interview with a Vampire. But it's like it almost sounds like it would be easier to make a book about vampires the further back you go because you don't have that much dependence upon technology, number one. And number two, the story is easier that you can go around doing this from town, seemingly town to town, if you've got these small villages that they can kind of go and kind of pillage in
and
that
you
way.
know, that is weird that in our modern literature we're not doing that, because when I
Right.
wrote One Foot in Darkness, I did a lot, and I've always been a massive, massive vampire fan, like my whole life. Um, excited for Blood of the Dawn Walker. Ooh, what's
Type that
that?
into. Go ahead. Okay.
Um, I've always been a really big into the vampire mythos, and I've always, researched stuff. But when I wrote One Foot in Darkness, I got really into the research of vampire mythos. And when I started writing the sequel to that immediately, which I, trashed almost right away, I was like, no, this is pretentious and crappy. Um, I realized very quickly that every single society city on earth, every single one, has a vampire myth. Every single one, from China to Ireland to the Native Americans, everyone has a vampire myth. So why don't we have more
Yeah.
literature that takes place further back than the 12th or 13th centuries? That is
Right.
strange. So yay for me. This is going to be great for SEO.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it is. It is. It's something that I don't think a lot of people think that they would want to see. But I mean, the minute you see it, you're like, that's actually a lot better and a lot easier to explain. Especially if people
Mhm.
that were already steeped in mysticism then would be like, no, 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 I really saw it. Like this is the description of it, and we don't have phones. We tell it, we telling it by the firelight. We're telling it within small villages. There's always going to be,
Mhm.
that shaman that's going to be for the village. Like that's it works so well for them not to utilize it. So I'm
Yeah.
glad you're doing it because it's really going to pay off with going back and doing the research and making it seem firmly grounded on things that are already there and are in the mythology. So that is fantastic.
Thank you. I'm a
Um,
big fan of verisimilitude. What can I say?
I've been loving Greek mythology ever since I was like 8. Like that, it's fantastic. And I tell people it's like, hey, pretty much every hero or villain is based off of Greek and Athenian myth. And even then, if you want to go back further, there's all sorts of interrelations between them. But it's like, hey, that's why the stories work so well. And I think it's probably why I have so many damn Batman books. For as much as I love Green Lantern, The Flash, I've got a whole bunch of Batman because I was like, oh, that's Odysseus to watch a
Oh
man go
yeah.
against the odds and to come out on top. But I'm gonna switch things up a little bit with top 10 hits, guys. All right. So top 10 hits is something that I got from R2. Shout out to you, guy. I'll be asking you 10 rapid fire questions on here. They'll show up on the banner. Just give me your first thoughts, or even if you have to think about it for a second on here. Gonna play some mute music while we do all that. Bring it down a little bit here. All right, here we go. So first one we've got is favorite color.
It's not quite blue. It's like a maybe like teal, like a blue green, almost Tiffany blue.
Okay? I can dig it. I love it. Favorite food.
Jalisco, Iberian food.
Really?
Yes.
You have to you have to send me a picture of that because that sounds delicious.
Oh, I will.
Your first purchase after winning the lottery is
A property with a house on it.
nice. Favorite holiday?
Halloween.
You know what? I should have guessed that. That should have been my immediate guess. In the Harry Potter franchise, you belong to which house?
Hufflepuff.
Me too.
You're Hufflepuffs?
Hufflepuff needs some love, guys. Hufflepuff. All right. One book to read for the rest of your life.
The Witching Hour by Anne Rice.
Ooh, okay. One movie to watch for the rest of your life.
Okay. Star Trek First Contact.
Oh, that's a nice one. The greatest love song of all time is.
In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel.
I thought you would take longer to do that one. Okay, I'm gonna have to send me that one, so I gotta listen to it. The source of your inspiration.
My shitty childhood.
Negative to positive, guys. I love it. All right, so keep, delete, or watch again. This is the DC edition. Superman 4, Quest for Peace, Wonder Woman 1984, or Supergirl 1984.
What are these choices? Watch
I had
again.
to make it one big enough. Okay.
Oh my god. Delete Wonder Woman 84.
Okay.
Keep Supergirl and watch again Superman Quest for Peace.
That's what I thought. Okay, everyone.
That's like
Quest for
technically
Peace.
two. That's technically two keeps.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure. I was like, everyone boots so much on Superman 4. I was like, that's kind of one of my favorite ones. I thought it was the closest I get to watching him fight either Doomsday or Bizarro. So I was like, it made sense to me to want to
The
watch.
fingernails. Fingernails.
It was the weird finger and the weird electricity that would come from it was a whole thing. So just a current events thing here. I know that you did your video about the announcement of lanterns. And so I wasn't sure if you'd heard or seen this about
Yep.
some of the creators. You hadn't seen it, you heard this?
I have.
Okay, so guys,
Yep.
I'm gonna for everyone else, I'm gonna play to you what these creators of Lantern said, and I'm gonna get Comic Sans thoughts. Hold on. So here's what was said. You can see this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Here's what was said.
Unfortunately.
So you just announced a Green Lantern show.
It's called Lanterns because we all agreed that the green was stupid. So
Right.
So now it's just lanterns.
So Green Lantern, the lantern.
I can't go any further than that. I'm just gonna have to stop right there just because of me getting generally irritated with it. What are your thoughts, Daddy?
Damon Lindelof needs to be stopped. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like the source material. And I'm so tired of these DC bots attacking me on Twitter, telling me it's a joke. It's a comedy podcast. Like, listen, what douche needs to have his podcast done on a stage in front of a live studio audience? First of all, that just feels ridiculous to me. Like, why is it necessary? Second of all, he volunteered that joke. He volunteered it. And he goes on about, he calls it a magic ring. First of all, it's a magic ring. No, it's space science, you dick. It's space science. He feels that way. And this isn't the first time that he has committed these sins. And it's not just him. It's Tom King too. So Robert Meyer Burnett and I talked about this on my show the other day. Now, Robert Meyer Burnett liked the trailer and I'm very concerned about his mental health in his old age. But it's fine. I love him. He's a wonderful, he's a scholar and a gentleman. He really is. I adore you, Robert. But what the hell? Did Hal get like the 1995 custom Eddie Bauer Green Lantern suit? What is this? Clearly, Damon Lindelof just hates comic books. He thinks they're stupid and corny and campy. He does not understand it whatsoever. So why are we continuing to allow him to do these things? He doesn't do adaptations. These aren't adaptations. An adaptation is when you take an actual book and then you say, okay, here's a story. We're going to adapt the story. Maybe we'll change these two dudes here to Amish guys since it's 20 something years later and everyone's got a phone in their pocket.
Correct.
But that's it. You don't take the whole story out, wipe your ass with it, and then stuff used toilet paper in the cover and keep the name. That's not an adaptation. That's taking your own story and stealing someone else's name. If you want to make your own story and your own character, do that. That's great. Yes. We may like it if it's something new, if it's your own thing and you put your own character's name on it, right? If it's your own thing. But don't take something we've loved for years and then say, oh, it's just an adaptation. No, because you know what we didn't do as kids? We didn't read these comic books and say, oh my God, you know, it'd be so cool if we changed absolutely everything about this and then put it on TV.
Right. I know that we're not for name calling, but we really need to start calling people dorks that do dorkish things and exhibit dorkish behavior. Because I was like, this is a dork comment. The easiest recovery for just saying we're not calling it Green Lantern, we're just calling it Lanterns, is like all you gotta do is reference Jeff Johns and be like, hey, in Brightest Day and Darkest Night, Jeff Johns actually told us that there's an entire emotional spectrum of lanterns, which we've got Green Lanterns for willpower, We've got red lanterns for rage. We've got yellow lanterns for fear. Like, just
Mhm.
calling it lanterns means that you don't know what lantern will be the focus of the next season. Like, that's an easy out for saying why
Yeah.
you don't want to call it Green Lantern. And that's frankly, that's all anyone would need to hear from you to say, okay, you have a plan, but it doesn't sound like you do. I said, I don't know who the hell this John version of John Stewart's supposed to be, because I
That
know
is
that
not John Stewart.
it's not John Stewart at all. I was like, John Stewart being ex-Army, I don't know if he was Special Forces at any point, but him Army and Air Force will
Marine.
have their own beefs, but when it comes to chain of command, he would be respectful of that. There's no reason for Hal to be kind of like a drunk uncle, because that's what he gives off in the trailer. And it says that there are two rings, but we only kind of see one. So we're like, what version of Hal are you
And
giving that we haven't seen?
and how does John get chosen without wearing a ring, without a ring? That makes zero sense. John Stewart is my favorite Green Lantern, and this is something you and I have
Yeah.
talked about a couple of times. I
Yes.
love John Stewart. He is walk softly, carry a big stick. He is
Exactly.
never petulant. He is
No.
never petty or pissy, and that's what they gave us. Hal Jordan is never this crabby, pissed off,
Moody.
I don't want
No.
to do this old man. Why are they in a car in the first place? I have never seen a
Right.
Green Lantern drive a damn car, but they're driving a car. And why did he jump out of it? And I'm
Doesn't
so
make any
tired,
sense.
y'all. I'm tired. I'm so
I
tired of these DC bots. Say, it's just a trailer. Watch the show and find out. Bro, the whole point of a trailer is to make me want to watch the show.
yes.
This trailer has had the opposite effect. I was so excited about this until I watched the trailer.
Trailer, right? And I said, if that were the case, I don't know why you're doing John Stewart and Hal Jordan if you introduce us to Guy Gardner. If this is the case, you might have just showed us Kyle Rayner and just started out in the city
You
and
just
had him
start with
figure it
Kyle
out.
Rayner. Start with that
Yeah.
giant vagina. I'm
I,
just saying,
I've been okay with that. And that's the ring is the
listen,
point.
isn't John Stewart the second black superhero ever? And y'all gonna do him dirty like that? You're gonna treat him like some petulant little pissed off child? Give it to me now. I'm better than you. What?
It's a waste of Aaron Pierre's talent. And the weird thing is, his voice is actually
True.
deeper than that. And it's Aaron Pierre was like, oh, when they told me they got him, I was like, oh, this is going to be a good step in the right direction. But because John Stewart is solid, and I saw the Netflix movie he did, I think it's Ruby Ridge or whatever it is.
Rebel Ridge.
Rebel Ridge. Yeah, he was solid in that movie because that's all he had to be, was a solid guy. And I'm like, that translates
That's
to
John Stewart.
That's John Stewart, not that. Like, this version, I don't know what that is. And the thing is, like, if you're gonna give me the setting of some old ashy downtrodden town, that might as well be a random planet. That could be a random planet, and people could just wear
What did
makeup.
you just
It'd be
say?
like Sector 2614 is large, and you just picked Earth. Like, the
I
thing
know,
is, you're a complicated area.
I was like, so they were like, they're earthbound. I'm like, no. So what you're telling me is that they are the two Green Lanterns for this little dusty ass town. That's what they are. No, shut up. Get out of my face. I don't want to talk to you anymore. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And then the very end of the trailer, he says, he asks Hal, do you ever talk to the other lantern? And he says, no. We're the only two humans. Because this guy doesn't exist now. And not just that, one of them's a fucking squirrel. Sorry, sir. Hal Jordan would never say those things. Not ever.
No,
Not
that
ever.
doesn't make any sense. And that's why it was confusing, because like you told me that that
Guy Gardner's in the show.
Guy Gardner's in the show at the end, and I was like, well, you told us he's there. Plus, we were told that James Gunn was in charge of all of this. So how are we having continuity issues within 2 years of the announcement of you doing this. Like, if anything, you would have said specifically your run-ins with Sinestro, or you would have said Kilowog, even though he's closer than with Guy Gardner. But you would say like, hey, Sinestro trained me until he went crazy, and then I had to pick up a Kilowog. You could have said one of them was a fucking pig. That'd have been okay, cool, we get it. It's a Kilowog reference. But
Yeah.
a squirrel, like, don't nobody know who the squirrel is.
Chip.
Like that,
Dude, I'm just, y'all, I'm tired. This
exactly.
should have been a home run. I don't understand why it's so hard. And it's not hard. It is not hard to adapt a freaking comic book. It's all right there for you. You open it up.
Yes.
There's the panels. You're going to have to flesh some things out because you can only do one action per character in a panel, but it's all right there for you. It's relatively easy. The issue is they don't want whimsy. The people that they have making these shows and movies, they don't like whimsy. And Green Lanterns are inherently whimsical. It's a ring. It's a ring that makes constructs based on your willpower. It's whimsy, and they've removed it out. Sorry, my nose is really itchy because it's been storming so much here.
Same here.
They have removed that because they think it's stupid. I'm like, quit hiring these people. I, for one, have been told for some time, since about late October, early November, from a few of my dear friends. The one I told you that bought me that thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Good friend. Very good friend.
Okay. Yes. Told me that the talk around town has been for some time that James Gunn is not going to remain in the position that he is
that's
in.
how you heard about it. Oh.
Tell no one.
Wow. Okay. Between us. Got it. Okay. Wow.
Yeah. And that individual, they have absolutely nothing to gain from telling me this.
Right.
Why would they tell me that? Why?
Right. I see. Wow.
Okay. So
okay. Wow.
That is a solid source. That is a very solid source. And they have been telling me this for several months. And now all of a sudden that Paramount is buying the place. All these other big places are like, so James Gunn's not sticking around. I'm like, listen, I want my clout and I want it now.
You heard it from me first. Okay. That's okay. That was really interesting. I didn't know where people had been saying it or getting it from, because I was like, well, no, I thought that, they bought it, everything's gonna be as it is. But if you're saying that person told you that, then okay.
Well, it's a couple things. There's a couple things causing that. One is, of course, Superman did not make the money it needed to make. People are not thinking about how much they spent alone in marketing.
I try to tell people that all the time. It's like, yo, when they give you the box office numbers, like they give you the report, but like, yo, like it costs just like whatever the budget was they told you, you have to double it for the marketing. And when you put it out in a movie theater, the movie theater is going to take 50% off the top. So you're almost having to earn 2 to 3 times what you put in just to break even. And like blows everyone's minds. You're like, no. It's very expensive stuff, but that's why you see the commercials when you do, and what days you do, and the times and the shows that they're doing it. That stuff costs a lot of money. And like that's a separate budget from the budget that it takes to make the movie. But go ahead, I'm sorry. You're saying about Superman.
No, and Ted Sarandos said under oath to Cory Booker, Superman only did 3 weeks in theaters because it wasn't doing well enough. It wasn't making enough money. So they pulled it. Sinners still plays in some theaters. It's still going because it's doing so well. That's how that works. But some people some people are just not getting that through their heads. So it didn't do well. Peacemaker season 2, I don't know how it just won a Saturn Award because It did not do well. It was not a good season. It was a
It was a
mess.
confusing
It was a
season.
disconnected mess. The only thing that was good about Peacemaker season 2 was Tim Meadows and Eagly. And that was like 2 or 3 episodes. That was it.
That's very true. That
The rest of it was just all over the place. And
Yeah.
that is shit. James Gunn told Rolling Stone before it even came out that he didn't even want to write it. He was tired
Oh, he
after he
did?
did. Yeah.
Oh,
He said after he finished Superman, he had to go straight to Peacemaker season 2, and he didn't really even want to do it because he was on vacation and he was tired. It's like, we can tell, boss. We can tell.
That's
So
what
there's
I was trying to figure out. Okay.
and does anyone even really remember Creature Commandos? It was okay, but all in all,
Right.
it was kind of forgettable. So he's not doing well. He's not making the money. Okay. So there's the first thing. 2, he has said, and you've got to read between the lines. James
Okay.
Gunn says things with purpose. Everything he says is for a reason. He has
Right.
said in interviews, yes, but I don't know how sustainable this pace can be and
Right.
for how long,
How
because
long?
he's not just a filmmaker and he's also making TV shows like
Yeah.
Creature Commandos.
Yeah.
But he's also the Kevin Feige for the DCU.
Yep.
He
Yep.
has to create and when I say that, I don't think people truly understand what that means. What that means is he is the one who's behind the idea behind the interconnected universe. You need to think of him as an executive producer for the DCU TV show. The
Yeah.
executive producer for a TV show, they're the ones who have the overarching vision for the series. It's their vision for the entire long series. That is what a creative director for the MCU or the DCU is. They're the executive producer for the entire universe. It's their vision for the universe. So he has to make sure that everything that comes out connects organically to what his vision is supposed to be, right? So he's got to make sure everything, okay, this works, this works, this works. So he definitely has to sign off on everything. Literally everything. He also has to fill the role of running that studio.
Yeah,
That
so
means
it's
signing
odd.
paychecks, ordering things, you name it. He's in charge of thousands of people. He's in charge of a small city, basically. And he has said that he doesn't know how much longer this pace
Yeah.
can be sustainable. He's tired. And from what I have heard, is when he
Gotcha.
first got the offer, it was, I would love to be a Kevin Feige type. This would be absolutely great. I'd love to be in charge of a studio. That sounds wonderful, but I still want to make films too. I can do it. And then he was like, oh my God, this is way much more.
I thought.
Right. Even Kevin Feige isn't making films. He's just running the MCU.
Right. Right.
So he's
I mean,
been
basically they
too.
Yeah, and it's like they gave him the job but didn't tell him the full scope of the job that he'd be getting. And then he got in it and found out, like, no, we need you to do everything. Which is what I found out when they told me when I was applying for jobs. I found this out later. Like, they said that there are certain code words that let you know the responsibilities you're going to have. So it's like, hey, whenever you're watching out for resumes or when you're looking at places that are hiring, if they say we need a rock star, it means you're going to be doing everything. And I think they said like, hey, James Gunn is going to be a rock star. And it's like, well, it's because they wanted you to do everything. And that isn't necessarily a fair deal for someone that has no point of reference for a job y'all created because you saw how well Kevin Feige did it. But Kevin Feige just says, okay, this is the order in which I want to do it. And I'm going to hire people that can do that. While DC is like, no, I want you to create the foundation for it. I want you to come up with the concept. I want you to hire everybody. I want you to shoot the movie and do the TV show. And it's like that isn't sustainable for anybody. I don't know. Actually, I don't know anyone that can really do that. I mean, the closest I would say is maybe Jon Favreau, but that's that's
Oh, and
TV to Iron Man.
Favreau's is done with Disney's crap too, from what I've heard. He's ready to just like kick rocks. He's like, ugh, done with it.
Yeah, it's entirely unsustainable. And so
Yeah.
if he winds up leaving or they say that he go in a different direction, I understand. But understand the next guy you bring in isn't going to be a savior of sorts. It's just like, hey, you need to plug the holes in the sinking ship. And we kind of know it's sinking, so
Well, and if you notice, everyone else got their contracts fully extended, re-signed, fully extended. James Gunn and Peter Safran got 6 months, long enough for the deal to go through. That's all they got.
I see. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, I can see that. I will say this, but I mean, last time we talked, which was the 3 years ago, and you were at around 500 subscribers, which is great then. But it's up to like 17,000 now on YouTube, and things have basically exploded for you. And I just wanted to say, what's been the most fun thing about just seeing your YouTube growth, just for you to watch it? What's been the most fun experience about it?
Getting to make my comic book. Getting to meet the people I have, which has afforded me the opportunity to do what I've wanted to do since I could form memories, and that is make comic books.
I love it. I love it too. And also, guys, if y'all think that I'm a decent interviewer, but if you watch Danny, she's fantastic, guys. Okay, of all the guests she gets in, she gets everyone to talk. They sound excited. They are really hype about having the talk with her, having the questions that she's asking them. It's overall a fantastic stream to watch when she's got an interview going on. So I want to say, who's been your favorite interview thus far, and who is your dream interview?
Bo DeMaio's been my favorite so far. Bo was awesome. That was a big get. I'm absolutely amazed that he wanted to come on my show, and it developed into the friendship that it has. I will admit when I am wrong, and I was wrong about James Gunn, and I was wrong about Bo DeMaio, and I told him that to his face. And we have been friends ever since, and I'm very grateful for that. And I'm very grateful for him being as generous as he has with his time, and understanding that a lot of people got a lot of wrong information about him from Jeff Snyder. So, and I was one of those. I don't know if you guys knew this, but there were people sending podcasters information about Bo that was not true. And I was one of those people.
Okay.
And I won't go into it any deeper than that, but it was pretty screwed up what happened. And I got proof of what happened, and I made my apologies for it. And he was so grateful that I said, listen, if you are presented with new information, normalize changing your mind, and and admitting you made a mistake. That is a grown-up thing to do. You'll feel good about it. I promise you. You'll feel much better. You'll feel lighter. You might lose weight too.
Easier to let go.
Easier to let go. My dream interview. Oh my goodness. My dream interview. I have to pet my hair to think.
That is fine. Your time.
Let me think. Oh, dream interview. Maybe Eric July. I'd love to get him on. But he hasn't done interviews in like 8 months at this point. Yeah. So
if you get it, I can't wait. Have you met Eric July?
No, but I do know he's talked about me behind my back, and it was positive.
You would be surprised at how friendly he is. I met him twice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well,
He's
they didn't even give him my last name, and he knew who I was. And I was like,
that is
yeah, that was
awesome. That is
banner
awesome.
day in the Comics and house. Let me assure you. Saved the
And
text message.
hey, when you get it, you let me know. I will be there with popcorn. I
Oh,
cannot.
you think I won't tell everyone like
Oh, yeah,
immediately?
okay, cool. I just need to be like, even if you're like, hey, it's not all the way there yet. We're still working things out, but I think I got an interview with Air July. I need that. All right. If I'll give you the address, you can send baby stuff, but I need in return, like if that happens, I need to be like one of the first people to know. Like, hey, if I'm the top,
Okay.
if I'm like one of 5 of the first people. I don't need to ask if I was 3 or 1 or 5. I'm cool with knowing I was one of 5 people that heard that news first.
Okay.
But for the readers that wind up getting Veiled Legacy, if they only remember one thing about your book, what do you want it to be?
I want them to remember or learn that you can relate to a character who doesn't look like you. That's what I want the takeaway to be. That you can connect with and relate to a character that doesn't look like you.
Okay. All right. I firmly look forward to being one of the people that is able to relate to Emma Hogan, the main character of Veiled Legacy. Guys, I know we focus a lot on the things that creators get wrong in our geekdom, miscasts, characters, bad faith directors, and so on. But we have a unique and genuine person that is going to be sharing her art with the rest of the world with Danny's Veiled Legacy, and we have a great opportunity to support her in that. And so again, try to if you can, if you have a little bit of time and a few dollars, to please donate to the Fund My Comic for Danny's Veiled Legacy. And if no one else has told you guys, you're important, you matter, and you've got a story to tell. So let's talk about it. For Danny and myself, guys, we will be seeing you at the next one. But before we do, I just want to see, Danny, do you have anything coming up you want to share with everyone that is following or going to be following your channel?
I am going to be live Wednesday through Friday this week at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thursday is the first episode of a new show I have with my editor and friend and frequent collaborator, Caro Brown. And our show is called Plot Holes and Payoffs this Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Our guest this week is Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett, and we will be talking about Firefly. Next week, we're skipping next week because you guys are going to come find us at MegaCon in Orlando. Come find me wandering around. I'll be at the Ripaverse booth handing out Veiled Legacy goodies. So come see me at MegaCon the 19th and 20th of this month. And find me on YouTube at Comics and Everything at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, Wednesday through Friday.
Guys, if you look at the description of this video, all of her links are in there. But again, thank you guys so much for joining us, and we are out until the next one. Catch you guys later.